well enlightened, and that they better change their minds and be good citizens of Nigeria. Otherwise, we will be out for them.
The British government is equally backing the Nigerian police force in its fight against cyber criminals.
In this very difficult and challenging environment, which is cybercrime, we all know that it's a global problem, and we all have to work together to tackle that problem to make our lives and the lives of our friends, family, children safer for all of us. We are behind Nigeria, we work with Nigeria, and we support you all.
With Nigeria and South Africa on track to be removed from the grey list of the Financial Action Task Force by October, a move expected to ease cross-border financial flows and boost investor confidence, the Ifeanyi Uche-led Nigeria Police Force National Cybercrime Center believes Nigeria will no longer be a safe haven for cyber criminals.
Anyway, from cybercrime now, the Taraba state government has launched a comprehensive 5-year strategic work plan document for the State Bureau for Peace and Conflict Management. The strategic work plan, which is in collaboration with the German GIZ Peace Corporation, is a commitment by the state government to institutionalize peace as a foundation for sustainable development.
Taraba State in northeast Nigeria has experienced episodes of communal tensions and conflicts arising from ethno-religious clashes over land and resources, rising banditry, kidnapping, gender-based violence, and proliferation of small arms.
And peace will come to stay in our state.
The state government believes that the launch of a 5-year strategic work plan document in collaboration with the German GIZ Peace Corporation and other development partners will provide a clear roadmap to strengthening early warning and early response system approach in mitigating crisis.
Today's launch of our 5-year strategic plan marks a major milestone in that mission. It provides a clear roadmap for strengthening early warning systems, fostering dialogue among communities, empowering youth and women in peace building, and building the institutional capacity of the Bureau, members, and staff to respond effectively to emerging challenges.
Some members of the Bureau speak on the strategy and its components.
The future that the Bureau sees, and we all see at Taraba State as an institution, is one that allows us to have long-lasting peace. And of course, like every process that you know, there are challenges and there are concerns that we must avoid along the way. I think one thing that is key of mention here is that we have avoided in all means the potential that there could be a lack of ownership and buy-in.
We are particularly grateful for your foresight and leadership in establishing the Taraba State Bureau for Peace and Conflict Management, reflecting your profound commitment to fostering peace, preventing conflict, and de-escalating tensions in Taraba State.
Governor Abu Kefes, represented by the Chief of Staff of the Government House Administration, reiterates his stance on prioritizing peace, security, and inclusive governance.
The launching of the 5-year strategic work plan document is a bold declaration of our political will in Taraba State, a reaffirmation of our commitment and a concrete step taken boldly by His Excellency towards building a Taraba that is saved, united, and prosperous for all of us.
Established in 2025, the Taraba State Bureau for Peace and Conflict Management has a sole responsibility to strengthen peace structures through collaborative conflict prevention, management, and transformation mechanisms.
A 2-day joint maritime exercise between the Nigerian and French Navy, codenamed Exercise Crocodile Lift 2025, has been concluded in Lagos. The exercise tested the combined capabilities of both navies in executing complex amphibious operations and enhance maritime security. Our correspondent, Chris Salems, reports.
It's the concluding part of Exercise Crocodile Lift, a joint maritime operation between the Nigerian and French navies.
to their first run.
Today, they are simulating a complex amphibious operations aimed at enhancing maritime security and interoperability within the Gulf of Guinea. The exercise is to ensure the rescue of a crew of a merchant vessel from some hijackers and kidnappers. Armored personnel carriers, artillery and other military hardwares are deployed for this purpose. The combined amphibious team rescues the victims and dismantles the enemy camp, arresting them. It's an impressive operation as guests are treated to some of the intricacies of naval operations.
We are here in the Gulf of Guinea to train, to participate with our African partners to different exercises. Yes, this year we could deploy this new vehicle. It's a new vehicle to cooperate with the Nigeria, and it's very new for France too. So it's a good opportunity for us to deploy this new vehicle here in Nigeria.
The Nigerian Navy over the years, which you could attest to that, has been quite professional. Now this exercise is part of our partnership program within the Gulf of Guinea. Now the Gulf of Guinea and the involvement of the French Navy is part of efforts to partner with member states. So for me, we're already doing what we need to do. We've secured our maritime domain excellently, and this has given rise to piracy cases that have reduced tremendously over the years.
The two-day exercise featured 5 Nigerian Navy ships, 2 helicopters and a detachment of special boat servers, plus the French naval ship, affording participants another opportunity to hone their skills and develop capacity. Chris Alems, Channels Television News.
And to politics now. In a bid to strengthen its structures and further mobilize its members for the political activities ahead of the 2027 general elections, the All Progressives Congress in Adamawa State have organized a grassroots stakeholders engagement and sensitization meeting in Yola, the Adamawa State capital. Speaking at the event, the National Vice Chairman, Northeast Zone of the party, Mustafa Salihu, says of the positive impact the reforms introduced by President Bola Tinubu is beginning to have in the country, all Nigerians should support the party at all levels to consolidate the visible achievement.
This meeting, holding in Yola, the Adamawa State capital, is convened by the APC caucus of the Adamawa State House of Assembly for grassroots stakeholders engagement to strengthen the position of the party in the state. Addressing the gathering, National Vice President Northeast Zone of the party, Mustafa Salihu, says the reforms embarked upon by President Bola Tinubu needs the support of all Nigerians and appeal to the people of Adamawa to join the APC bandwagon, especially with one of their own, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, the National Security Advisor, as a pillar of the party.
All of us that are from Madagali, Michigan, down to Gombe, we know quite well there's a time prior to 2015 that we are all IDPs here in Yola and other states. But since the advent of this administration and the appointment of Malam Nuhu as National Security Advisor, we are able to coordinate our national security, coordinate our various security agencies, and attacks on our major cities has become a step.
Some of the speakers applaud effort made to build a party in the state.
Your choice has been particularly worthy because it marks a history shift, as Malam Nuhu is the first national security advisor from a non-military background since Nigerians returned to democracy governance in 1999. This demonstrates your commitment to bringing fresh perspectives to the national security architecture.
Today, we can proudly beat our chests to say we have become an importer, an exporter of finished petroleum products. But in the past, despite of our abundant crude oil, we were busy importing petrol, which was very distressful.
A participant at the meeting commends the organizers, describing the sensitization as timely.
We must put our house in order first, and this is the attempt at doing that in order for us to go and look for votes from people in the state.
The stakeholders meeting is to be replicated by the party at the local government and ward levels to mobilize and sensitize members at all levels.
And in part two, after the break, as Nigeria Weekly Law Report celebrates its 40th anniversary, participants re-echo the need to safeguard the legacy of law reporting. Join us again.
In a nation of over 200 million, where 60% are under 25,
millions of brilliant young minds are locked out of the new economy for lack of digital tools.
Zynex Technologies, in partnership with Conga Cares, has launched a convenient installment payment structure with 6 months interest-free.
We invite government at all levels, corporates, alumni, politicians, and wealthy Nigerians
to support our educational institutions to produce quality human capital by donating tech experience centers
powered by 24-hour iPower alternative power solution with internet.
Let's computerize Nigeria.
To find out more,
visit congacares.conga.com.
Let me tell you about Africa's biggest fitness party. A place where you tune out the noise and elevate all the way up. Here, it's sweat, it's music, and it's movement. Thousands moving as one. Where Africa's top trainers push you harder and the beats keep you moving. Where food, fitness, and vibes collide. Where it's okay to fall 7 times, but rise at the 8th. Cause that's how we elevate. And when the sun goes down, the party goes higher. Fave life no be just 6 packs. Now lifestyle, now joy. It's come as you are. So lace up, bring your crew. Come sweat, come dance, come elevate.
Your skin is your wealth and perception is reality. Upgrade to affordable luxury brands from the La Roche-Posay range and the CeraVe range. Download the Conga app and shop on conga.com, MedPlus, Bido Pharmacy, Net Pharmacy, and Alpha Pharmacy. Conga Health, a subsidiary of Conga Group, is the exclusive distributor of L'Oreal Dermatological Beauty, world's #1 dermatological beauty brand. Your skin is your wealth and perception is reality. Upgrade to affordable luxury brands from the La Roche-Posay range and the CeraVe range. Download the Conga app and shop on conga.com, MedPlus, Bido Pharmacy, Net Pharmacy, and Alpha Pharmacy. Conga Health, a subsidiary of Conga Group, is the exclusive distributor of L'Oreal Dermatological Beauty, world's #1 dermatological beauty brand.
If you've just joined us, you're watching the News at 10 live on Channels Television. A quick recap of our top stories now. Nigeria police issues a stern warning to internet fraudsters, says the force is determined to ensure that cybercrime is eradicated. Nigeria Navy and its French counterparts concluded a 2-day joint maritime exercise, codenamed Operation Crocodile Lift in Lagos. And as Nigeria Weekly Law Report celebrates its 40th anniversary, participants re-echo the need to safeguard the legacy of law reporting. and 18 people are feared dead after a blast at a military explosives manufacturing facility in rural Tennessee Friday. And Professor Mahmoud Yakubu bowed out of office after serving 2 terms as chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, a period that allowed him to conduct 2 general elections. His exit from the country's electoral body after completing his 2nd term in office has sparked mixed feelings amongst politicians and civil society leaders who analyze his performance and set agenda for the incoming chairman of the commission.
On Tuesday, October 7, 2025, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu announced his exit from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, as he hands over the leadership of the commission to the most senior national commissioner, Ms. May Agbamuche.
So, Commissioner May, it is my pleasure to hand over to you formally and officially as the acting chairman of INEC. Thank you.
It was an emotional occasion as commissioners and staff of the commissioner bade him farewell. Professor Mahmoud was first appointed in 2015 by former President Muhammadu Buhari. He got his reappointment in 2020 for another 5-year term. During the historic 10-year in office, Professor Mahmoud conducted 2 general elections, the 2019 and the 2023 general elections. Since his tenure ended, civil rights activists and politicians have been divided in their opinions of his performances while in office.
The high point of his tenure in INEC will be termed in 2 words for me: consolidation and innovation. Consolidation because the reforms that were initiated by Professor Jega needed to be consolidated. And one thing Mahmoud did was to extend the Jega reforms and then innovated on them.
I believe, and I've said this time and time again, that he was a monumental failure as the chairman of the electoral body in the last 10 years. If INEC conducted free and fair elections, will the courts have a role to play? Absolutely not. It's because INEC has failed as an institution. That's why the courts keep on intervening.
Opinions are also divided on Professor Mahmoud's introduction of new technologies and enhancements of existing ones for better electoral outcomes.
Professor Yakubu will be remembered for a number of good, bad, and the ugly. Of course, when I say good, Professor Yakubu was the one who literally amplified technology in the electoral process.
Mahmoud was appointed during my tenure as IPAC chairman. I worked closely with him. He promised so much, and for me, at the end of the day, after the assessment, I discovered that he under-delivered. The hope of Nigeria was so 2023, you could see the level of people who went out to register, to become voters in that election. And that now, as I'm telling you now, if you look at the barometer and the investigation by all kind of survey online, the Nigerian trust deficit in election is at all-time low.
On Thursday, October 9, the Council of States endorsed President Tinubu's nomination, Professor Joash Amopiton, as the incoming INEC chairman. Aside from critiquing the former chairman, analysts also set agenda for the incoming head of the electoral body.
Well, I'm very interested in ensuring that there are no reversals. Whatever gains have been made needs to be consolidated. Consolidate on consultation with different stakeholders is key. Increase public education.
A new person has come today. What kind of agenda are we going to set for him? It's very, very simple. There are laws and regulations guiding INEC. He must obey them. Good thing is that he's a lawyer. he must obey them. He must understand that INEC and the smooth working of INEC undergirds our democracy and the smooth functioning of our democracy.
Despite the inadequacies of the last 10 years, analysts agree that election management in Nigeria has improved and hope that the electoral umpire, political parties and politicians will continue to support efforts to make elections more transparent, free, fair and reflective of the choices of the electorates.
And to the legal world, as judges now begin to face references to decided cases that never occurred because they are generated by artificial intelligence, there's a need to safeguard the legacy of law reporting to embrace the future in this technological era. This was one of the key points made at the 40th anniversary celebrations of the Nigeria Weekly Law Report, NWLR, in Lagos. The keynote speaker at the event, the former governor of Lagos State, senior advocate of Nigeria, Babatunde Fashola, urged the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, to lead the charge alongside the Nigerian Bar Association, experts in the fields of technology and governance, and the Law Reform Commission and other relevant stakeholders. Our judiciary correspondent, Shola Shoyele, has the report.
The 40th anniversary celebration of the Nigerian Weekly Law Report, NWLR, the longest consecutive running law report in the history of the legal profession in Nigeria and Africa, attracted some of the country's finest legal minds, jurists and other distinguished guests. The NWLR, the brainchild of late legal icon Chief Gani Faimi, began publication with its maiden edition out in October 1985, with the aim of making Nigerian laws available to all and sundry and as quickly as possible. And 16 years after the demise of its founder and editor-in-chief, the Law Report continues to be one of the most trusted repositories of judicial decisions in the country.
The publication has become indispensable to the bench, the bar, the academia, and indeed to the entire legal system. As we embrace the technological age, the task before us is to ensure that the transition from print to digital formats must be guided by the same standards of precision and authenticity that have defined the Nigerian Law Reports over the years.
Speaking to the issue of safeguarding the legacy of law reporting and embracing the future in the technological era, keynote speaker, senior advocate of Nigeria, Babatunde Fashola, seeks monitoring and regulation of technology.
Those lawyers that Gani came to change the game for, they were confronted with a real case, but they didn't know it existed. Now you will be confronted with cases you are not sure whether they exist or they don't exist. It's a real danger. And I think the power and the duty conferred and imposed by the Constitution, which I have referred to, makes my Lord the CJN the most appropriate person and office to lead this undertaking.
Other panelists also had these contributions.
Whether we like it or not, we need to also do some things when it comes to editorializing judgments. A lot of law editors are already gone ahead of AI. Several times you pick law reports and you see held, and they will list so many things. Go to the main report and read, and you will find that most of what you are reading are other contributions, obiter remarks, and all that.
If you recall, in the case of Adegoke Motors Limited against Adesanya, the Supreme Court admonished lawyers who were pulling ratios by the strings of their hair just to support the facts of their case. AI as a machine tool is a tool that empathizes with the person making the inquiry. It doesn't like coming up with no answer.
For the editorial board of the NWLR, there's a need to set out the rules and regulations to govern law reporting.
I must mention and reiterate again our belief in the Nigerian Weekly Law Reports that there's a need to regulate law reporting in Nigeria.
We unveiled this compendium
of faces.
The event was also used to launch the Nigerian Case Law Dictionary and another book, Nigerian Weekly Law Reports, 40 Years of Trailblazing Law Reporting, written by Gani's eldest daughter, Basirat Fawemi Biubaku. The organizers encouraged everyone to get copies of these latest offerings. Shola Shoyeli, Channels Television News.
And now to infrastructure. The Kaduna State Governor, Mr. Uba Sani, has met with the Minister of Works, Mr. Dave Umahi, to discuss the completion of the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Road construction, a project that has lingered for many years. The meeting, held in Abuja, focused on resolving all the bottlenecks delaying the project to ensure the safety and ease of travel for commuters.
The 375.9-kilometer dual-carriage Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Highway road construction was awarded by the President Muhammadu Buhari administration in 2017 to Julius Berger Nigeria PLC. The original contract sum of the project was 155 billion naira, with an expected completion period of 36 months. However, 8 years later, the project is moving at snail's pace due to funding and security issues. Governor Uba Sani's visit to the office of the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, is to see to the speedy completion of the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Highway, a critical link between the North and the Federal Capital Territory, as well as the southern part of the country. At the meeting, Governor Sani expresses concern over the slow pace of work on the Abuja-Kaduna portion of the highway, which has been under reconstruction for several years. The minister highlights issues surrounding the project.
I'm here personally to visit him and discuss with him on the progress of the work going on from Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, and Kano projects. Of course, I'm also happy that you invited the contractor doing that, and we had a very important conversation, which was also very frank. And from our own conversation, I have no doubt in my mind, in the next few weeks, we will have a lot of progress. And of course, what is even more important is the quality of the job that is going on.
He has been monitoring this project almost every week. And so he insisted that we must do a meeting with the MD of InfoQuest, who has the contract of these sections, Lot 1, which is 252 billion, and Lot 2, which is basically in Kaduna, 82 kilometers by 2, that's 164 kilometers, costing the federal government 502 billion. So altogether, to complete all the sections from Abuja, down to Kaduna, down to Kano, is costing the federal government about 754 billion.
The Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Road project was revoked and re-awarded by the federal government to Infest International Limited, and the contractor who is at this meeting has some assuring words.
Yes, we had some little challenges from Jerry to Kaduna, but I am here to say that from now to 2 weeks, we are going to have a visit to site and to make sure that this access and this portion of the road, it will be joined with from Zuba to Kaduna. Then all the sections will be joined together to make sure that the work will be done on time and in the right way and the quality required.
As commuters continue to rely on these routes daily, expectations are high that this renewed collaboration between Kaduna State and the federal government will finally bring an end to years of delay on the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Highway.
And still ahead on the news at 10, the Ministry of Finance and Flutterwave are a partner at this time to boost Nigeria's digital economy. That's on Business News. Just do join us again.
Every year, floods destroy homes,
farmlands and livelihoods across Nigeria. The National Orientation Agency urges every Nigerian to take practical steps to reduce the risk of flooding in our communities. Flooding is preventable. Take action today to protect your home and community. Dispose of waste properly. Keep draining paths clear. Avoid building on flood-prone areas. Report illegal dumping of waste. Participate in community sanitation. Listen for early warning alerts. This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency.
Partnership that makes sense. Are you a manufacturer, distributor, or reseller? It's time to go big with Konga.com. Gain massive visibility. Reach every corner of Nigeria at lower cost and be more profitable. We've got you covered with secure warehouses, nationwide logistics, and Konga Pay, the trusted payment platform that guarantees timely payments. Let's partner to grow your business and build a stronger economy. Email onboarding@Konga.com today. Konga, the e-commerce group you trust. Partnership that makes sense. Are you a manufacturer, distributor, or reseller? It's time to go big with Konga.com. Gain massive visibility. Reach every corner of Nigeria at lower cost and be more profitable. We've got you covered with secure warehouses, nationwide logistics, and Konga Pay, the trusted payment platform that guarantees timely payments. Let's partner to grow your business and build a stronger economy. Email onboarding@Konga.com today. Konga, the e-commerce group you trust.
Welcome back. While still looking at infrastructure in Edo State, Governor Monday Okpeola has launched a surprise inspection tour of key state projects commissioned by former Governor Godwin Obaseki shortly before the end of his tenure. He commended the exercise with a visit to the Stella Obasanjo Hospital and the Education Hub in Yaro, Benin City. Our correspondent Jessica Ologosere has the details of the governor's assessment and the actions he has promised to take to address the challenges he encountered.
Governor Monday Okpeola begins the on-the-spot assessment at the Stella Obasanjo Hospital in Benin City, the Edo State capital, in company of top government officials, and is conducted round the facility by the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Cyril Oshomole. The tour takes the governor and his team through different departments and sections of the facility. The observations are far from satisfactory to the governor and his team.
It's just about 60% completion. We have a lot of work to do. Some of the beds we saw, they are old beds from the old, recycled from the old hospitals. So he promised that he's going to keep it up to 100%.
We have gone around the hospital and we see for ourselves. Yes, a lot of work has been done, but we have so much to do. The administrative block is not completed at all. Then installations are not done. The theater is not done.
Governor Okpeola, however, commits to turning the situation around.
But now we would do our best to see that within short time, between now and Christmas, this place should be activated.
The assessment visit is thereafter taken to the Education Hub at Yaro, also in Benin City.
And we demolished almost 35% of the buildings because it was damaged.
The contractor handling the project explains that the complex is designed to centralize education operations in the state, housing key offices and units.
We have all the buildings dedicated, one for the ministry offices. We have a restaurant for the staff. We have Subeb and other buildings. We have an auditorium with offices and shops. And we have the library board.
Following the tour around sections of the facility, Governor Okpeola describes the commissioning of the hub by the past administration as premature.
For me, there's nothing to be commissioned here. You can see the buildings. We have gone inside, no light, nothing. You can see these ones are not completed. I don't know why he was in a hurry to commission all completed buildings.
The governor maintains that the necessary improvements will be made in no time, as his administration is focused on accountability, transparency, and visible, tangible results that would have the desired impact. Jessica Lubise, Channels Television News.
And to other matters now, 10,000 youths from Imo State have graduated from the Cohort 3 of the Skill Up Imo, a program, a digital skills development initiative of the Imo State government designed to equip young people for opportunities in the global technology space. The event, which held at the Emmanuel Iwayewu International Conference Center in Owerri, the Imo State capital, also featured the launch of My Imo app, a citizen service platform built by graduates of the program designed to create an interface with government at all levels with intermediaries, that's without intermediaries and delay. Our correspondent, Itope Kute, reports.
It's a celebration of technology and innovation as 10,000 young men and women converge on the Emmanuel Iwayewu International Conference Center in Owerri, the Imo State capital, for graduation ceremony of their just completed digital training under the Skill Up Imo Cohort 3.
Skill Up Imo! Make some noise!
The program, an initiative of the Uzodinma administration, provides free digital literacy and technical training in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, blockchain, digital marketing, and many others. It's part of a broader effort to position Imo State as a digital innovation hub.
With your unwavering support, the Skill Up Imo project has transformed from an ambitious vision into a national model for youth empowerment. These are living proofs that the Skill Up Imo dream works and that the digital economy is already transforming lives across our communities.
The event also featured goodwill messages from development partners, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, and some federal ministers.
You've taken the right direction, the right step, and you renew the hope of young men.
I believe that for all indigents of Imo State, there are about 5 years of effective leadership of Senator Hope Uzodinma in itself has made it very clear what a sincere, committed, and focused leadership can achieve for its people.
And this is the most unique effort I have seen anywhere in the world to empower youth, to give them the skills to be able to create the future for their country.
Equipping them not just for jobs for today, but for the opportunities of tomorrow. To the participants, you are the heroes of this story.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished Senator Hope.
For Governor Hope Uzodinma, the graduation is another step in his administration's digital transformation agenda, one that aims to train over 300,000 Imo youths in the coming years.
The future of Imo State depends on our youth. You ignore your youth, you have ignored your tomorrow. You equip your youth, you've protected your tomorrow. So today we are very proud to have, in addition to the 40,000 young minds already in active businesses, another 10,000 more young Imolites, and another 320 civil servants of the Director Cadre in the Imo State Civil Service.
The governor also unveils My Imo app, a homegrown digital platform designed and built by graduates of the Skill Up Imo program to provide citizens with easy access to government services.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together.
With the state government's partnership from global tech companies and institutions such as Microsoft, Cisco, UNDP, the University of California, Berkeley, the Imo State government is making a bold statement that is truly determined to become Nigeria's digital skills capital. Itope Kute, Channels Television News.
And in its quest to boost food efficiency, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Foundation has flagged off agricultural training to 1,070 vulnerable farmers in the Northeast sub-region. The Executive Director in charge of the program development of the foundation, Mr. Bala David, represented the Managing Director of the foundation at the event in Potoskum, Yobe State. He explained that the initiative reflects the foundation's commitment to national development to increase productivity and reduce losses. The farmers were selected from Bauchi, Borno, and Yobe states.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Limited Foundation is flagging off the distribution of modern agricultural technologies and market access strategies farmers training at PoliticsToday in Yobe State. The training focuses on climate-smart agriculture, soil management, post-harvest handling, financial literacy, cooperative formation, as well as the use of digital tools for market access. The executive director in charge of the program development at the foundation, Mr. Bala David, represented the managing director of the foundation at the event, and he believes the program reflected the foundation's commitment to national development beyond energy.
The initiative delivered by the NNPC Foundation reflects our commitment to national development that goes beyond energy. We are focused on practical interventions that increase productivity, that reduce losses, and expand market access for vulnerable farmers.
According to the management of the foundation, over 1,000 farmers are participating in the program in the Northeast. This is in addition to over 11,000 beneficiaries in other 5 geopolitical zones in the country.
As we flag off of the Northeast phase of this program, the journey here in PoliticsToday, let us renew our shared commitment to excellence, measurable impact, and empowerment. Let this please stand as a model of success and beacon of progress.
As I am here, I will thank all the participants, more especially those that come purposely for this program. Before I end my speech, I would like to see that those that are Yobe, Borno, and Bauchi, please make sure that you are all good ambassadors for your states, because what you learn, you'll go and impact it at home.
Some of the participants speak on the impact of the training.
I'm so happy to be a participant in this training, because before now, there are a lot of things that I've never known I could employ into my farming activities that could help boost my yield.
We learn how to make a good pesticide with the local items without using chemicals.
The foundation is pledging to do more to contribute to the nation's productivity and national development.
All right, let's get a check on the world of business now. Willie Bong has the details.
Thank you, Ladi. Now, Nigeria is strengthening its ties with fintech leader Flutterwave to accelerate growth in the country's digital economy. Now, Nigeria's finance minister, Mr. Wale Edun, met with Flutterwave executives and the Ministry of Finance Incorporated in Abuja to discuss a potential strategic partnership. Flutterwave highlights how its cross-border payments network supports trade and entrepreneurship in over 30 African countries, and the minister commended the firm's role in expanding financial inclusion and driving innovation, pledging continued government support for digital transformation. Both sides agreed to outline a partnership roadmap aimed at improving Nigeria's digital infrastructure and boosting investor confidence in the nation's fast-growing tech ecosystem. Nigeria's bold move to halt the export of raw shea nuts has reshaped the country's shea value chain. The policy, designed to stimulate domestic processing and create jobs, is yielding mixed results, boosting some local processors while exposing deep structural gaps in the sector. Our lead anchor for tonight, Ladi Williams, was on a fact-finding mission this week, captured the short-term impact on major processors in Ogun and Kano states.
On the 27th of August 2025, the federal government announced a temporary 6-month ban on the export of shea nuts.
This is a collective decision involving the subnationals and the government at the center.
Few months into the temporary 6-month ban on export of raw shea nuts, warehouses of processors across Shagamu and Kano look full. These nuts sourced from top shea nut producing states like Niger State, one of the largest producers, often referred to as the shea belt capital of Nigeria. Also top on the list is Kwara, Kogi and Oyo State. For processors in Shagamu, the temporary ban on shea nut export is a welcome change.
So for us, I think basically the price on the product itself. And again, the availability for us to keep our plants running. Because, you know, you've invested so much in this plant and the investment wasn't for you to shut down or not to produce because the raw material is not available. It's for you to be able to produce all year round. So availability is key to survival and it is important for the growth of the economy as well. Because if you have to also look at it from the human angle side, where on this site alone, footfall per day is close to 1,100. 1,100 direct and indirect associates in terms of staff and outsourced and third party. So imagine if we don't have it, then what happens to that 1,100? We'll have some, say, 4 or 5 people dependent on them.
So this is the star commodity right now in the spotlight. These are shea nuts, and so many byproducts, you know, come out from this nut that cuts across different industries, from pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, confectionaries. Goes a long way, and the value chain is also huge. From what I've learned. Up north in Kano, processors echo the same relief. With better access to nuts, production lines are busier, and more local jobs are created.
It is quite unfortunate that a lot of Nigerians don't know how much of a gold they have in their pockets, so to say, because for one, shea is a naturally existing product, agricultural product, and interestingly, Nigeria constitutes about 40 to 45% of the world shea in terms of quantity and capacity to grow. So it means that Nigeria is more or less the hub for shea in the world. Now, shea in the world of food and cosmetics is taking over many other butter that you may think is of value, considering its availability, its cost, and it's easy to maneuver for a lot of other products.
For now, this policy has redrawn the map of Nigeria's shea industry, one where value creation at home may finally take center stage. Ladi Williams, reporting for Channels Television News.
Thank you again, Ladi. Now, the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise, CPP, has urged cautious optimism in interpreting Nigeria's recent fiscal progress, warning that inflation and currency depreciation has eroded the real value of increased government revenues. In its new policy brief, Nigeria's fiscal and tax reforms, CPP notes that while subsidy removal and FX unification boosted VAT and company tax collections, much of the growth is inflation-driven rather than a sign of true fiscal strength. It also highlights Nigeria's limited fiscal capacity compared to peers like South Africa and Egypt, despite its large economy. The think tank called for more efficient spending, investment in infrastructure and human capital, and restraints in taxation. CPP CEO Dr. Muda Yusuf said genuine fiscal strength depends on productivity, inclusion, and prudent management, warning that rising tax costs could hurt private sector confidence if not carefully implemented. And as business news, it's back to Ladi for more on the news at 10.
Thank you, Will. On to other stories now. The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has stated her belief that when the National Library of Nigeria is built, it will become the country's national pride as a modern, digitized facility equipped to cater to the knowledge-building needs of all and a repository of the history of the nation. The First Lady expressed this optimism after a facility tour of the Qatar National Library in Doha. Senator Tinubu, who was accompanied by the Minister of State for Education, Shuaibu Ahmed, noted that Nigeria is blessed with a robust and rich cultural heritage which must be properly documented for posterity. The First Lady emphasized that the youth must have a referral point to know more about the nation. The visit to the Qatar National Library is the first engagement by the First Lady in Doha as a prelude to her engagement with the Qatar Foundation for Education, Science and Community Development, where she hopes to secure needed partnership that will address the challenges of out-of-school children and Almajiri education in Nigeria.
This is quite impressive. Very, very impressive, and I'm glad we came in here, even if we are not doing anything. So this is to prepare us for what, at least the minister is here. They're the one who are going to be building. And thank God she's younger, so the library I used, maybe I would say those are analog library. This one is digitalized, and a lot of, scientific research has gone into it, and I think, we wouldn't have come to a better place than here. So I'm really glad we did. And, we might not have this exactly, but at least, we have something to measure up and then, at least live up to and then build towards. And I think I can't get over it. We've seen a lot. I can't even, is it the heritage part? Is it the people for living with disability, people with disability? And also, it's just for everyone, from 0 to maybe 100, depends on who wants to come. So there's room for everyone. So I would say I'm impressed with that, because knowledge shouldn't be isolated. It should be given to a child immediately you're born, and I think this place has provided that.
All right, let's hear now what's hot in the world of sports. So Olumide Macaulay has the details.
Thank you, Laddie. Welcome to Sports News. We begin with football. The Nigeria Football Federation has stated that the arrival of the Super Eagles delegation from Polokwane in South Africa to Uyo for Tuesday's FIFA World Cup qualifier against Benin Republic has been delayed. This comes after the chartered aircraft which was conveying the delegation suffered a cracked windscreen mid-air after takeoff from Luanda, where it stopped for routine refueling. The incident forced the pilot to guide the airplane safely back to the airport in Luanda. The same aircraft had flown some members of the delegation to Polokwane on Thursday. According to the NFF, the federal government and the airline are working to get the necessary overflying and landing permits for another aircraft to fly from Lagos to Luanda and fly the delegation to Uyo. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has rewarded the victorious Lagos contingent to the National Youth Games in Asaba, where they topped the medal table for the first time in the history of the championships. Team Lagos dethroned host Delta State by winning 110 medals, comprising 52 gold, 32 silver, and 26 bronze medals. At a reception held in honor of the contingent in Ikeja, the governor used the event to reaffirm his administration's investment in sports infrastructure. He encouraged the athletes to remain disciplined and committed to the academics and sporting careers.
I want to say that the catch is just to show a small measure of appreciation. What you require the most is the facility, is the environment, is the stadium, and all the sporting equipment that you need for you to excel in subsequent competition. I want to wish you well. I'll be watching out for each and every one of you. Take good care of yourself. And I see you at the next competition.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's medal streak in Egypt has continued as Rita Ferdinand soared to victory, clinching gold in the women's 79 kilograms category, the ongoing World Para-Powerlifting Championships in Cairo, Egypt. Ferdinand lifted an impressive 153 kg to secure the world title and further cement Nigeria's legacy in the sport. Her remarkable feat added to Nigeria's medals haul at the historic championships. Earlier, Esther Nwogu won silver in the 50 kilogram category, while Rukayat Opeyemi Ajiboye claimed bronze in the same class. The championships marks the first ever edition to be hosted on African soil, a milestone event highlighting the continent's increasing influence in adaptive sports. Stayed on sports news, it's back to Ladi for the conclusion of the news at 10.
Thank you, Olumide. Two stories outside our shores now. 18 people are missing and feared dead after a blast at a military explosives manufacturing facility in rural Tennessee on Friday. The explosion at Accurate Energetic Systems, about 60 miles west of Nashville, was felt for miles around, causing multiple fatalities. Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis said one person, initially believed to be on site, had been located at home. 4 or 5 people were taken to a nearby hospital after the enormous explosion leveled the factory, and several are still deceased. The plant in Box North specializes in the development, manufacture, handling, and storage of explosives. The cause of the blast remains unclear. And the main news again. The Nigeria police has issued a stern warning to internet fraudsters to desist from their act, said it's determined to ensure that cybercrime is nipped in the bud. And that's it on the news at 10. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ladi Williams, the main team right here at Channels HQ. It's good night.
Tonight on Dayton Abuja, we're talking about governance with empathy. And looking at the FCC administration, are we witnessing governance without empathy? An activist, well, she calls herself an active citizen, joins us tonight to talk